Well, it was a hard-fought win today. I mean, the first half, they made 7 threes. That was the number one key to the game. Limit their three-point makes. They make 10 a game. They had 7 at halftime. And so I didn't want to be overly frustrated about it because I felt like a lot of them were contested. They just made some really good shots, and that's what good players do. So sometimes you have to just say hats off to Nevada. Harris was phenomenal in the first half, and I just said we're fortunate only to be down 2 points, having, given up 7 threes at halftime. And then the second half, our defense locked in. It might have been the best of the season. They shot 14% the second half. And the first half, we had 3 stops in a row one time. The second half, I think we did it 6 times where we had 3 stops in a row. So our defense stepped up to the occasion. Offensively, usually we try a mid-ball screen or this or that, and we find something that gives us a rhythm. We just could never get in a rhythm tonight. And unfortunately, the rhythm, or fortunately, was throwing it to Yanni. But the problem is we had to call set plays to do it. The team didn't realize it, in my opinion, where they could just make it easy and say, just throw it over here and throw it into him without a play because he's dominating the game. I think he had 17 points and 16 rebounds and not afraid to throw it out when he drew a double, but they didn't recognize it. So we have to get better at that. Usually we find the hot hand or we find something that gives us rhythm, and they know what it is. I felt like today, offensively, we were out of rhythm most of the game. And a lot of that has to do with Nevada's defense. They guarded the heck out of us and made everything hard. But proud of our effort, proud of the way the guys hang in there. The crowd was incredible. I mean, I can't imagine a team coming in here and being comfortable playing in this noise. They can't hear their coaches. They're trying to call timeout. They can't hear them call timeout. And it's just a great home court advantage when this building's full and rocking the way it is.
Coach, what could you say about that second half run? I believe it was about a 17-2 run, and that 2 points coming on that weird own basket. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, Yanni tipped it in, so technically he had 19 points. Just 2 for the other team.
Yeah. What did you see during that stretch, and what went well for you as you alluded to the energy or the defense? But.
I mean, we win with our defense, so we get stops, and then it takes the pressure off the offense when you get stops, and all of a sudden you're up 6 and 8 and 10, and then you can play a little freer. And it's good to see Jordan start making some threes. At the end of the day, it seemed like they made everything, but both teams made 10 threes for the game. So we made ours, I think, more in the second half and made some timely ones, and everything was keyed by our defense and our rebounding.
The players talked about the way you adjusted the ball screen defense in the second half. What prompted that and what went into that?
We played a couple different ways. To start the game, we jumped out on ball screens, and then they hit the rolling post and moved it out of there and got some open looks. And then the end of the first half, we just switched all ball screens just to try to keep a body in front of a body, and I thought that worked fine. And then the second half, we played more traditionally what we do. We just drop on a ball screen, try to make them shoot mid-range pull-up jump shots. And I thought Lindsay had some good looks. They didn't go in, and by doing that, I think we took away some of their three-point attempts.
Coach, was it kind of weird in the locker room at halftime, trailing? I mean, the second time trailing a half, was it any different?
No. Like I said, I didn't overreact. I didn't think. I just told them, hey, this is what basketball is. They make 7 threes, and you're only down 2. You're very fortunate. So now we just got to, and I told them before we came out, you have to have a next play mentality. Some of them looked like they had some frustration on their face. And I said, you can't be frustrated. I'm not frustrated with you. You just got to move on to the next play. And if you can do that, you got a chance to be a really good player and a really good team. You can't sit there and obsess over what went wrong in the first half because this is not the time to correct it. We just got to go out and play better the second half and believe in ourselves.
When Yanni came here, what type of player was he? What type of player did you conceive of him to be? And what's it been like lately? What are the things that you kind of tried to bring out of him? Yanni came here because he wanted an opportunity to play on a good team. And I say this, if Jalen McDaniels would have come back, then Yanni might not have come. He was looking for a chance to come in and contribute on a good team. And he wanted to play the power forward. So when Nathan went out, we had to slide him to the center. So he's embraced it. I'm sure he'd rather play facing. I mean, he shot a couple threes in. That's what he'd like to do, be able to stretch out some and play inside out. And so we have to find ways to let him do that from the post position. But when we watched tape on Yanni when he was leaving Vanderbilt, we watched tape, and Mark Fisher and I and the other guys, we sat there and go, this guy looks like he's a 16-8 player. Now, those weren't the numbers he had at Vanderbilt, but that's what his game looked like on tape. He knew how to play, how to post, he knew how to move, and so we just, we're fortunate to put him in positions where he can have some success.
players are talking about, Jordan said that with 8 freshmen and sophomores, you would not have tried that kind of adjustment at halftime last year. How much comfort do you have that you can just draw something up on the board and say, go out and do it, and they're going to change completely the way they play ball screens? And that
Yeah,
tight game.
they're a really smart team. So we have a number of ways to play it, and they all adjust and do it right away. So their IQ is over the top. So what they lack in length or maybe athleticism in a position or two, they make up for in intelligence. And so intelligence makes you a step faster. If you know where you're supposed to be, you're there early. And you don't have to be a great athlete to get to where you're supposed to be if you're smart, and this team's really smart.
Coach, how have you seen Yanni grow not only as a player but as a veteran leader on this team?
Well, he's damn near as old as I am, so yeah, he's a veteran. So it's nice to have an older guy out there, He doesn't get rattled. He's having fun, He's working every day. This team works every day, So whatever we practice, they get in the gym away from us, and they work at their games. So they work to get better every day. And so they're confident, and they should be. They're playing really good basketball right now.
We all know that people don't pay as much attention to who's number one as they used to, and number one teams lose all the time, and it doesn't really mean that much. What would it mean here if you got to that point, to this program and to this city and everything else?
It's like you said, they're just numbers. I mean, you look up and 3, 4, and 5 lost, in this week. And I think 4 and 5 lost 2 games this week. So as good as you're playing, you're always 1 week from a disaster in this business. A team makes shots and you lose a game, and then you might drop another because you're on the road, and that's just basketball. So we're fortunate where we're at, but we're not naive enough to think that if we don't play well and we don't prepare well, it couldn't happen to us. So we try to prep every day and just be the best version of ourselves.